Everything's they still smell like dogs.
Where? There we are. Huh. I don't know why I didn't hear it this time. Usually it tells me.
Oh,
Still smell like dogs.
right, it says recording. And there we go. We are live. Hello and happy Sunday.
Hi.
Hi there.
Let me
Hello.
Hi there,
turn down
hello.
my phone. I forgot to turn off my phone.
You
Or-
do. Oh, it doesn't matter. We're all good. Looks like we're in a closet, Steve.
It does. Got stuff.
It's the cat food
Mhm.
on the shredder doing it.
Yeah, so this has been a hell of a week.
I gotta say,
So many levels.
I'm appreciating some feedback
Just
because
yesterday was a hell of
I had to drop
a
out.
fucking day.
I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it, dude. I had to back away from the news. It was too insane. And it got even worse because the whole we're gonna make it a reality show. Like I don't even know what to do with
Is
that
that a
information.
thing?
Yeah,
What?
they're working on that now. They're
Oh,
gonna do
Jesus.
American Citizenship as a reality show.
The Hunger Games
That's
is
Like
not
Hunger Games
insane.
style. Yeah, they're gonna just I don't know.
That is
Anyway,
insane.
what are you reacting to? Ah,
The bombing of the fertility clinic
Oh yeah.
slash
yeah.
like well it's they're saying it was a fertility clinic, but my understanding it did all sorts of um like
Reproductive health care.
yeah
Yeah.
and then you had that weird Mexican like sailing ship
I
that crashed
know.
into the Brooklyn Bridge,
Uh,
What?
yeah.
like icon against icon.
Oh my God. And a serial killer was murdered in Florida, and his last words were, "Keep going, Trump, make America great."
I did not hear about that one. What was that
Yeah,
about? Tell me
yeah.
about that.
Florida serial killer cheers Trump in his final words at execution.
Oh, okay. Was it
Um,
at the execution, not
yeah, at
not a
his
murder?
execution. So he was all like, yeah. Wait a minute, what happened? Yeah.
You know you're on the right team when the serial killers are pulling for you.
Yeah, yeah.
You're right.
Oh my
Could you
God.
keep that on the down low? Yeah.
The Casanova
Like if the
killer.
Nazis are on your side, if serial killers are on your side,
There you go.
Yep. He was known as the Casanova killer. What
Which
did
I'm
he
not
you
do?
know
sure.
what? I've heard about that guy.
Yeah, the evilest thing. He is victims in 5 states. He was known for his good looks and ability to charm women just before murdering them. He's an animal, one of those people. He's the worst thing, evilest thing I've ever imagined. What else did he do? A Casanova killer witnessed the execution. No, no. I want to see what he did. Victims. Uh,
Ooh.
I wonder how they executed them. Don't they have? Are they having trouble with the
I think thought
mixture,
they
the right
were.
mixture to take people out? I thought they were doing firing squads now.
Oh,
Are they? I thought they still had Sparky.
old
Oh,
Old Sparky.
that
Sparky.
might be it. That's reliable.
I don't
Yeah.
think they have old
I think they
Sparky.
should bring the guillotine back. I think
Well,
that was pretty
let's see.
good.
How did he do it? It'll tell. Oh, yeah. 3 drugs were coursed through his veins that ended the life in Florida
Oh, he got
State
the easy
Prison.
way out.
Yeah, supposedly it's horrible. It's like you're suffocating.
But you got to go to sleep.
I guess you do, but
Or I mean, you're supposed to anyways.
Right, right. That's the theory.
killer victims. Let's see. God, everything is pictures.
Right. And ads.
Trusting mom of 3 boys among the victims of the Casanova killer. Um, he helped out a man who she met at a local bar. They hung out a bit, played some pool, flirted. He told her he needed a ride, and that's all she wrote. She would become one of the 5 people that could leave killed by him, known for his good looks and charm. Uh,
Oh shit.
yeah, but he
No,
killed.
no, no. I'm oh shitting something else.
Oh, okay, that's
10
fine.
inmates, including several murder suspects, escaped from a jail in New Orleans
Ooh,
after breaching the wall behind the toilet. Those are hollow. So I mean, it
yeah,
seems like
you're just asking for it.
Yeah.
yeah.
You really are.
How about the one about the ice guy? The guy posed as an ICE agent and took out a prisoner
Oh yeah, that was good.
before the actual ICE agents arrived.
They're like, that wasn't ice.
That's
Yeah, like
crazy.
if they can't identify who the ICE agents are, how are people in the
Yeah,
streets?
right?
I mean, I think you should be allowed to just draw on fire and be like, "Sorry, dudes, have you seen the news? I don't know who
I
these
don't know
guys
who you
are."
are. And like, when are they gonna start just grabbing women? Like some incels just gonna put on an ice badge and like be like, "Hey, dark-haired person, I think you might possibly be somebody," and just grab you and take you, right? And
They well,
you don't even need a
the
fake
ice
uniform.
are people are kind of already doing
They
that.
are. That's what I'm saying. But when until like, so, when, how long before men figure it out and then start doing it to women? You know what I mean? Like
It,
any new torture will eventually be used on us. I'm kind of used to this, so I'm
I mean,
imagining.
there are already like people that pretend to be cops and like
Yeah,
pull
yeah.
people
But now
over
we
and
have to
like,
worry about the ice people, and the ice people get to hide their faces, and they wear
hmm
like stuff you can't tell, like
It's
the
not even a
insignia. A lot of times
uniform.
they're just
Yeah.
militia that have been, deputized by the. So I don't know who these people are. So if we're seeing this happening, like, am I supposed to jump and help someone, or is she being kidnapped? Is she being taken by ice? I don't know. Like, people are gonna, I mean, when are guys are horrible people? Like, the serial killers are kind of laying a little low lately because of DNA and phones and stuff that they're
I don't know
finding
that
them.
they're
This
really
might be
laying
their
all
new
that
jam.
low.
They are. You don't hear about them nearly as much. They had
I
their
think
golden
it's
age.
become so common
Well,
that
mass killers, but again, I think there really was a golden age of serial killering, and I think that's ended with the DNA and with
Yes,
it
that's
ta-
true.
and
I think that
phones,
I
phones,
think it was
phones.
just popularized,
Sure, that
you
too.
know,
That too.
because because of like the whole satanic
Sure,
panic
sure.
of
But
like the
yeah,
70s and 80s and
absolutely. Absolutely. That was
90s.
the height of it all. Yes, yes. And the reason why, because mass media was getting bigger. So we all had a chance
Yeah,
to share all that stuff. But again,
yeah.
it's that when you trace these stories,
Just police
there are a lot of them are a little
schools
older.
or yeah,
The newer ones are different and they're not as like
yeah.
grand. They're not as these tales about,
And there's
terrorizing whole neighborhoods.
yeah.
These nowadays you have to be a trucker. You got to really work it. It's a lot harder. Before you could just start picking
Good,
people off in your
good.
hometown.
Call out to the smiley face
Yeah,
killer.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not easy.
And a lot of those ones
It's
we
a lot of
watch,
gas.
you watch the documentaries of killers, and they're getting found because not because the cops got any better, but they're like, oh, we had it in the cold case files, and we ran it through the
Yes,
DNA
yes,
thing, and they were
yes.
like, oh yeah, we got a
Yep.
hit. Like, okay,
Right, but
like
that doesn't affect their behavior.
no, no, I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's funny that the cops haven't really. I mean, that's how powerful the DNA stuff is.
Yeah.
Now you're solving shit
Oh
from the
yeah.
80s and
Yeah.
the 80s and play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just on by finding his family.
right.
And then
Yes.
you just find which member of that family
That's
was
yeah,
in that
that's the thing
area.
is
And
like
then you find,
a lot of these cold cases have been tracked
yeah,
through finding
yeah,
people's family
that's
That's
it.
brilliant.
and
I
like
think that's
That's
amazing.
yeah.
it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you know the DNA. Oh, okay. And it's
Yeah,
that
Golden
easy.
State Killer. That's how
Yeah.
they found him, right? They
That's
found
that
Yep.
is that is that, and they're solving a lot of the cases, like the boy in the suitcase in Philadelphia. That boy was finally identified
Oh wow.
after like from the 50s. The soap lady, I think they
Oh
might be.
wow.
So they're identifying people that a long, long time ago. I wonder if they'll be able to do it with. Do they have any DNA from Jack the Ripper? That would be
Ooh,
fun.
I don't think they kept
Ooh,
it.
that would be interesting.
Well, I mean, if they have anything he owned, I wonder if they've looked at it. Like, but then he
Mm.
only, but like anything he might have left at the scene of the crime. So anyway,
Yeah, because that shit
or anything
lasts.
on her
Anyway,
outfits or anything. It
but
does. That shit lasts forever,
it
and we're getting better identifying it. Like,
the thing you were saying about like random people like grabbing people up or whatnot, it kind of reminded me of a story that I saw yesterday about this kid like that was running up the street and like tried to jump into like a random stranger's car
mm-hmm.
and like she was like trying to protect him and her mother came up and it turned out like her mother was like a Muslim woman and like everybody was like tripping out on both sides,
Mm-hmm.
because she was wearing like a burqa or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And like it was just crazy, like just how crazy things are in general.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just all crazy. Like
People were stressed.
I yeah, I see that. I don't know that that necessarily explains it all.
Hmm.
Explains what all.
Like just the level of crazy in the world,
Mm.
you know?
You don't think stress causes this
I
much
mean,
crazy?
I just said that explains part of it,
Yeah,
but I don't
what
know
else
if it
besides? I don't know
necessarily
anything
explains it
else.
all.
Well, I guess stress is such a catch-all word that I
Yeah.
guess I didn't necessarily mean anything. I don't think Steve meant anything in particular by stress, except for, all the different. There's so many stresses. There's
Okay,
racial
I was
stress.
taking it very
There's
literally, Steve.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
What we
Yeah, it wasn't explaining the whole thing. I just meant like there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
A
okay,
lot of
okay.
it is Trump and the government just sort of, just cutting shit left and right and money not. I mean, people already were squeezed and now they're getting squeezed even more. I mean, we haven't even seen the full effects, I guess, so it really doesn't explain all of it. It's going to get worse, obviously.
Infinitely.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, exponentially. Yes. Yeah.
So, yes, anyway, but yes, there are a lot of those, yeah. Crazy, crazy.
Yeah, and I've read a Heather Cox Richardson, where she just touched on how that's the point right now, is that's like, you've heard the term flooding the zone, and we all kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I don't think we've ever really experienced it as much as when they're actually in charge, because what they get to do is name all these crazy laws, right? And we're taking habeas corpus. What? And we're doing this and we're doing that. And they do so much, and half of it
Yeah.
tended not to work anyway. It's just to get us used to not trusting, not caring what we hear. It's like constantly screaming wolf and not giving them a wolf for a while.
Well, it's
And then you can
also like
sneak
throwing
in the real
spaghetti at
wolf
the
because
wall
they're
to see what
desensitized.
sticks.
Yeah, we're supposed to be we're just, the point is to desensitize us all. It's like saying wolf, 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 and then people freak, and then finally we just live and go, I guess there's wolves out here. I guess we're living with them. I guess that's what it is. And then you can get the wolf actually in there, and then you can actually do whatever, because people are literally not looking. They're literally desensitized. They literally do not have the capacity to keep following. Where's the wolf now? Where's the wolf now? And they just give up, and you just do whatever you want to them. And this is what they're doing. And the idea is that they're not supposed to be. It's better if there is nothing that happens, because we all get excited and then we fall. All get excited, fall. That's the whole point. The whole point is that we're let down, and eventually our stress meters are going to stop firing, and that's where they can go and do whatever they want. It's cult behavior, so we're all in it. So I'm not watching it. Like, I'm not watching it.
My suggestion to deal with that is, just focus on things you're passionate about.
Good
You
one.
know,
Yep.
if you're passionate about immigration, focus on that, and
Right.
let other people deal
Yep.
with the other things.
Yep. Try not,
You
and
know?
don't react, and touch grass. Just step away, touch grass. Remember, in the moment, your family, you're okay. Eat something, pet an animal, do something real, and resist the urge to react to everything. Give it yourself, like, okay, I'm not gonna react. I'm gonna look at the news a week after it, and look at, like, I'm staggering myself. I'm not watching headlines. I refuse to do that. I'll go back after like 5 days or so, and then I'll go and check what I've got, because I need that space to I'm still hearing the headlines. Obviously, you can't avoid it. So I kind of, like, in the back of my head, I'm keeping tabs on what's going on, and then when I can go and see the news and be like, oh, that's where that came from, and it's a little more comforting.
Ironically, like that's the thing, that doing that is the thing that's stressing me out right
Does
now.
it?
Because,
Does it?
well, for me, because part of my job is to write jokes about the headlines. And because I've missed so much of the news over the past like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and probably for the next 2 weeks, like I'm always panicking, like on Saturday, like night, and I'm like, I can't write jokes anymore. I can't figure out what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, what do they call it? Strategic avoidance. I was just hearing a thing about managing emotions, and they were saying that some people for the longest time, it's been like, no, you have to talk about your emotions. You have to do that. And like, some people don't respond that way.
Some people
You know,
don't.
Yeah,
they don't need that in
like
that moment. In fact,
99.999% of men.
right?
Ah,
And in fact, they just don't need it. And it's like you actually process it differently.
yeah,
So they're like, some people are like, oh, don't ever avoid your emotions. You always have to engage with your emotions. It's like,
not
but some
really.
emotions
No,
you have to
no.
avoid.
Yeah,
It can be helpful to not be so obsessive about your emotional constant regulation. It's like, do something like you're saying, do something you enjoy, or you're saying something you're passionate about. Engage yourself in a way that just doesn't necessarily constantly
Oh,
talk.
totally agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally
Yeah,
agree.
I always tell Carolyn about or I have a couple times about the time I was involved with I was a teller at a bank during a robbery.
Really? You were a
Yeah,
teller? That
yeah.
is
yeah, you would tell her
so
that's the
funny.
story that he's
Right.
so amazed with. What, a
I
teller?
could totally
Tell
picture it
more.
though.
There's more to this story. It gets better. No, this is way back in the day when I was like first job. So yeah, the guy jumped over, it was on City Avenue. The guy jumped over the teller. We didn't have floor to ceiling glass or anything like that. It was just sort of a higher
I remember those.
gate
And they were down
above
that,
you,
yeah.
Yeah.
The guy actually was able to vault it and did it very effectively. He came running down the ramp that was from the back of the bank, took a running start, got his one hand and just well, he was really good. And he got over and I saw the shotgun at that moment and I was already on my way to the floor. I was like,
You're
me
right.
and my buddy were like,
Yes.
Matt, we're just like, we argued afterwards who hit the floor first. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I was on the floor first because he came like
Ain't
right
getting me
over,
today,
No,
motherfucker.
no.
right? So we're laying on the floor, and he goes through. He grabs the money. He runs out. He goes down City Line Avenue somewhere, disappears. So anyway, after that, the bank management is like, okay, we're going to bring in, a therapist and all this. And they went through like everybody at the bank just asking. And I think me and Matt might have been the only guys who didn't do it. And they looked at us like had like three heads. They're just like, really? And Matt put it so well after that. He goes, the way I see it is that was the best customer we ever had. He came in, he helped himself, and he left.
Yes, that's great.
Exactly. Employee, yeah, customer of the month.
Thank you, sir. Come again.
But yeah, it's absolutely strategic avoidance. Don't dwell on things. Do what you can do.
And the jokes really write themselves, Corey. You know that.
It's hard to stay
Some
ahead.
of them do. Some of them do. Some of them you got to work a little bit at.
Yeah. It's hard to mock these guys, satirize them. I mean, they're so crazy that it's hard to get to an absurder side of certain things that they're doing. It's
This
like,
is very true.
it's
Very
hard to
true.
mock them. Yeah, in some cases.
Very true.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and impossible to mock them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, they canceled nice is no longer a thing, or it is, but it's not the program anymore.
What's
It's
that?
just our nice group,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's no longer a thing anymore.
It's kaput.
Aw.
They're done their funding. So we're all still
Oh.
part of the collaborative, and that we're still friends and cooperative entities, but yeah, no more well, whatever.
That sucks.
I guess it's
But
like what makes me sad is that, th that kind of like community journalism is not being funded
yeah,
like at all.
yeah.
Like it would have been
Yeah, I
nice if they're like,
agree.
we're
I agree.
changing it and we're doing this. I'd be fine, but
Yeah, totally. Totally.
that's a sad part. Like it wasn't doing much for us in a lot of ways, but it was sad. It was nice that they were trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we might have a connection on the freelance side. We got one article published, so we'll see if we can maintain that. The VP there was like, "Oh yes, please send us your story ideas," and we're like, "Okay, well, we'll keep you up on that because again, that could be some good money."
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not going to be well, if you wrote one every day, yeah, but I mean, I just like as on a freelance, occasional basis.
Yeah, they don't pay.
Whatever.
They don't pay
Yeah.
a whole lot.
Yeah,
They don't pay a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you think about well, have you heard anything, any tidbits that I might have missed on the guy that tried to blow up the reproductive
Oh, I did.
place?
I just saw a quick
I didn't have.
screenshot, but I didn't
I'm.
follow up. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to? Is there an article that we should pull up and dig
Well,
into?
I know that they were like when I was coming down, they were just giving the FBI was just giving an update. And I guess he was some sort of nihilist.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't know that was like an ideology.
No, I thought that was just
Like
a
I thought
thing
it was
from the
just an out
movie.
of phase
They're nihilists.
philosophy.
Whatever his name is, right?
Yeah, what was it?
Is the Big Lebowski.
The
They're
Big Lebowski.
nihilists.
These men are cowards. They're nihilists.
Hey, what's his name though? I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Where he said Danny, like they're nihilists, Danny,
Yeah,
or whatever his
yeah,
name
yeah,
was. I
Donnie.
forget. Donnie.
Shut up, Don.
Shut up, Donnie. They're nihilists, Donnie. These guys don't care. Yeah, that's a
And
good
when
one.
was it? Friday, right? Was that when it happened?
Fatal blast
I think
near
it was
Palm
y-
Springs fertility
think it-
clinic is an act of terrorism, said the FBI. A bomb explosion outside a California fertility
I think it
clinic
was
killed one
yesterday.
person and injured four others in an
Yesterday, okay.
intentional act of terrorism. The blast happened just before 11 a.m., less than a mile from downtown Palm Springs. The clinic said no one at the facility was harmed. The suspect in the blast is identified as a 25-year-old Guy Edward Bartkus, or Guy, depending on how he
Guy.
chooses to pronounce his name. The-
What?
I don't know the.
Canadian.
Je m'appelle Guy. So
Okay.
he ran to the scene to see if he could help, finding a badly damaged building with walls blown out and the front axle of a car on fire in the car park. That's all that he said. So the blah blah blah. He filmed on his iPhone. Conducting safety. The history of violence against reproductive health centers is why clinics need protections and patients must feel safe. Yeah, they don't know. It just said he was a terrorist guy. I'll put nihilism in and see what they say. Oops.
Didn't they just like remove like a lot of the protections that were
Was it?
set up for
Let's see.
reproductive centers?
Maybe. Well, that would be California though, so not Florida.
Yeah, they'd be the last. Yeah,
They would
Cali
be the
last
last. I would
ones.
not imagine they would do that. Yeah, at least 5 injured though. That's what they say. They said no one.
I think the suspect died.
Well, well, good. Well, I
He
mean,
did?
sad. Gee,
Yeah.
gee.
Yeah, good, right?
Rest in peace, Gee.
Nailed that, motherfucker.
Yeah, suspect killed and targeted. They're calling it targeted. So who was he targeting? Yep, that
a
subject
suit.
had nihilistic ideations. What an interesting.
So did he?
Sounds like
worship-
an album. Nihilistic.
It sounds like
ideation.
like suicidal ideations, like
Like
or
nihilist just means what? Like
homicidal ideations. He was a fucking mass murderer. He wanted to be a mass murderer. Like, you know,
His beliefs, some of the posts that he's made online, the comments he's made in his manifesto. He has a manifesto. That's interesting. They didn't sum it up though. He was
They all
trying
do.
to live stream the attack though. He's an anti-pro-life manifesto. An anti-pro-life
So you
manifesto.
blow up a reproductive center?
anti-pro-life.
Anti-pro-life manifesto believed to be authored by
What
the
does that even
suspect.
mean?
I don't know. An anti-pro-life.
so
So
just-
it's like
he's just pro-life.
anti-life. No.
Anti-pro. He's anti-pro.
He's
Anti-pro.
anti-life. No, he's just anti-life. He doesn't want.
Is he anti-life?
He's anti people who don't want people to have abortion. He's pro-abortion. He thinks we should all have them.
Yeah, that's a weird.
That's a
phrasing.
weird
An
phrasing.
abortion
know
for
what else is-
you, and an abortion for you, and for you, and for you.
Yeah, I got.
Everybody gets an abortion.
Everybody, my boy. You go under your seats and you pull it out. It's a That's not cool.
I feel bad about that joke already.
Oh, don't. Life goes on. All right. Where is it? I'm looking for that great quote that Camille posted. Here's a good one. CBS Evening News made an announcement on May 14th. You're gonna have to show it to you. You have to actually see this fucking announcement. All right. We're gonna share screen here. There we are. Share that fucker. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, the bottom 60% of U.S. households don't make enough money to afford a minimal quality of life, according to a newest analysis. 2/3,
Well, duh.
dummy. Why on earth would they post it like that? That's insane.
Duh.
Duh, right? Pissing me off.
Yeah. Of
Yep.
course we don't. We know that. We don't need to
Yes.
be told it.
But I'm just saying, I thought that was really shitty, the bottom 60%. Like that's so like they're just it's so propaganda. And already CBS, I mean CBS Evening News is just pretty much. I mean that why else would they explain it like that? Obviously the news is two-thirds of Americans are having trouble. Obviously that's the news. But they phrase it like that. To me that means they're under someone's telling them how to phrase it, right?
Well,
That
they remember they just got sued
I
by
know.
Trump
Yeah, that's what I'm
over like
thinking.
how they cut
Yeah,
like an interview, like the
yeah,
most common fucking
yeah.
thing in
So what else
journalism.
did they agree to? Is what I'm saying. It looks
Yeah,
like they agreed
I
to
would love to know.
editing their headlines and their leads and shit, but that's unexcusable. That's bad news. You are not you are clearly being deceptive in your wording
Yeah,
and you're missing the story.
you're missing the forest for the
Yeah,
trees.
not there's no trees. I don't know what you're doing. It's just horrible. And this is when you're missing the forest for your trees, you're submerged in it. These guys are just I don't know what they're doing. They're just playing with phrasing in order to make sure that dear leader doesn't feel ticked off if they see a headline that claims there's something wrong with anything because everything's perfect, obviously, and as long as nobody speaks it, we're all happy. I get
Well,
it.
I like the phrase minimal quality of life.
I know.
So, I mean,
Fair
when
enough.
I think of that, like, as, somebody who, used to report on these things, I'm thinking these people don't have housing. These people don't have
Minimal, right? Minimal.
adequate food.
Mhm.
They're
Security.
struggling with
Yep.
their basic
Right. House insecurity,
utilities.
food insecurity,
Yeah,
healthcare
yeah.
insecurity, all
Like,
of those.
I mean,
Two-thirds of the country is in dire insecurity.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the news. That's the story. And then CBS chose to just phrase this. The bottom 60% of US households are having problems. It's their problem, not us. The bottom. Not the
Well,
bottom.
here's another issue, and I actually meant to. I was telling myself yesterday while I was going to bring this up. The Rite Aid that we
Mm,
usually go to,
mm,
like that's a couple of blocks from our house.
yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
I
All of
had
them.
to. All of them are eventually, yeah.
Ours is too.
The one that's next to our house is closing, like around Memorial Day. I think
Yeah.
is their last day.
Mhm.
Um, I had to go like all the way up to like 56 and Chestnut
Yeah.
from where I am, which is like over a mile away,
Hmm.
to get insulin
Oh.
yesterday
Sheesh.
and to get, well, to order
Right.
John's, Ritalin,
Hmm. Hmm.
like these families are going to
Yeah.
be,
Seniors, people who depend on
yeah,
being able to walk to a neighborhood pharmacy. It's key. And they literally, Walgreens, that was Walgreens did a Walmart. That was what, when I read about it, they put Walgreens everywhere specifically to make them so, and did that thing where everything's cheap and it's like a little Target, and it had all the people coming to it, and so people just making it so that people got used to the big ones, and then now they're just like getting rid of them now that everybody signed on to their insurance shit. Now they're closing them. So Rite Aid's part of it. Like everyone just went nuts to try to get people's prescriptions, and now they're just shutting down their places and they're leaving
Mhm.
people kind of high and dry.
it kind of reminds me of like the Dollar General
Yeah, I
strategy.
think it is. I think that's what I think that's what it is. If we dig into it, I believe that's what it's a version of that. Yep, yep. Just
But
cram them in the
now
neighborhood and then
like
leave them.
I don't honestly like once this other one closes,
Yeah.
which they're supposed to close within like a month or
Hmm.
two
Hmm.
of the one by our house.
Hmm.
Like I don't even know where like the next
That's horrible.
closest
I'm sorry.
place is.
Yeah, sucks, right?
Yeah. And like a lot of the local, like the hyper local like family places,
Mhm.
some insurances don't cover the like
Yeah, that's
stuff at
true.
those places.
That's true. Or they cover it less. You're out of network, so you pay
Yeah.
more and stuff. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
It's not fair.
I've seen Amazon has ads for their pharmaceutical services. So that seems to be
But then again, there's issues like insulin. You can't just ship insulin.
It needs to be
Like it
cold.
has to be
Yeah, we had a
cold.
cat that had needed it, so we used to
yeah.
get it. It shipped it, but you're right, it was a stress. Someone has to be there to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't leave them.
Like things
And it's
like
expensive
Ritalin.
and it's expensive to do that too. You know, it's not cheap to ship it because they need to be packed.
Yep. Then there's things like Ritalin
Mhm.
or, other like mental health drugs
Yeah,
that you have to present an ID. Like when
right.
I go to pick up John's medication, I have to present an ID for all of
Mhm.
his medication.
Yeah.
Right. And the hoops are only going to get worse when people are, that's not going to make it easier.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No.
It's and it is hard enough like to get, some of the drugs that,
Right.
we need as a family.
Right. Right. And he canceled Biden's prescription drug thing, and then he's trying
But
to
didn't
push
he
David
like
Doan. Yeah, he's putting it back, but he's putting his
rebranded it
name
or
on it.
something?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's so fucking
I know.
petty.
I hate it
Like
so much.
that is like bitch coworker petty.
I hate it so much.
Mhm.
I hate it. But you know what? He actually did something that I'm kind of here for. So there is something that he did do. He,
What's that?
did you hear that he yelled at Walmart and told Walmart when Walmart made the announcement that they were going to have to raise prices on because of the tariffs? He went after
Mm.
Walmart and was like, "Don't you dare raise your prices. You suck it up. You made all this profit, so I don't want to hear this from you. I want you to,
Really? He did
he said,
that?
yeah, he was really mad at
I'm here for that. I'm here
that's
for
what I
that.
said. I'm like, all right, well, they funded him, so fuck them. Yeah, yeah. He wants to bully
I
all
mean,
the major retail outlets to
I
not
didn't
take on the
hear
tariffs.
that part of it. I had heard
Yeah,
like the first part,
yeah.
where Walmart was saying,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we're gonna have to reach because and I was paying attention to that because it's an indicator of like how bad the economy is.
Yes, it is.
Usually, like when Walmart goes,
Right,
like the
right.
rest is like
Yeah.
right behind them.
Agree, agree,
Well, see,
agree.
I kind of see it a different way. I'm hoping that they will raise prices, that some of these dipshits will come to wake the fuck up.
Oh, there's still going to be reckoning, Steve. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, when it comes
Yeah.
to retail, I'm
Oh
fine with
yeah, I'm
that. But
not.
there's going to be food reckoning
I
because of
I
shortages.
personally
People are
cannot
going to have
afford
that.
them to raise
No.
any grocery place, any place where
Yeah,
I
right. We
have
don't
to
want
buy
that.
things.
Right. No, we
I
don't want
cannot
that.
afford them to
You're
do
right.
so.
You're right. We don't want that. We don't want anybody to have to have prices raised. I don't want, in fact, I don't want anybody to feel it. I'm sorry, but I really don't because I feel like with every person that feels it, every Trump voter, fuck around, asshole, there's a half dozen people who either didn't vote or rather voted for somebody else, and they're
Mhm.
suffering too. So, like, I know, and you know what? And even then, even the dumbasses, like, they're being manipulated. You know what I mean? There's voter suppression, there's lies. I don't know. Like, I don't,
It's one of those things. It feels good,
yeah,
like in the moment,
yeah.
but it's also
They're
like,
duped. It's fake. They're duped.
yeah.
They don't half of the people there's a very small portion of Trump voters that I really feel deserve it
Mhm.
that should know better, and you
Yeah.
know the kind of people I'm thinking
Yeah.
about, but there's a lot of really like
Yeah. I'm not.
salt of the
Mm.
earth people that
Yeah.
I think
I'm
just
not saying they deserve it. I'm not saying to gloat over it. I'm saying that we're going to be feeling it as well because all these prices are going to go up. I mean, we don't shop at Walmart, but all the prices are going to work their way through the chains. It's going to happen. But I think it can bring people together
I think you might
by
be right.
all suffering, kind of like the depression. You know,
I think you're right.
let's have a big collapse and then get our FDR back in here and try this shit over again.
I think you're right on that. I can totally see that.
I would much prefer them to do that before it gets to that point
That would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
because I don't want to lose my house because
Hmm.
they fuck it up so bad. I understand that I'm in, an industry that's generally probably going to weather well,
Hmm.
in the tech industry, you know, but like Danny isn't. Like
Right.
they're already making cuts, like
Oh,
crazy
really?
cuts, and yeah,
Wow.
like they're changing their whole system up to like make it more streamlined. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs.
Are they doing like self-checkout kind of shit? Is that what's happening? Is that part of it?
I don't know. I think there is some aspect to that because I remember seeing that a self checkout in the one downtown,
Mm-hmm.
like an ordering thing downtown, but that wouldn't affect Danny so much.
Mm-hmm.
What they're doing is they're moving everything to like from fresh stuff or mostly fresh stuff to frozen stuff.
Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, that makes it makes sense, but it is awful. All the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho, so I guess that's a good wrap up place
On a
for
high note.
our end on a high note.
We're all hanging on
the
by
high
our
note,
fucking
huh?
fingernails.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, the old cat poster. Hang in there.
Do you have any words of
You know, speaking
week?
thereof, we're working on getting John motivational posters.
Oh, fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was one of the things he talked to his therapist about Thursday
Yeah.
before the flood. Before
Uh-huh.
the flood.
Before the flood.
Was that he wanted like motivational posters to like help remind him like
You can
that
make
he
those. They're fun. Cut out
are
pictures
they
of
you can
magazines. Yeah, you cut out pictures of magazines and put the words together. You can look them up online of what they'll say, and then he'll have fun. Like it's a great project. I used to do it with middle schoolers, and I was a million years ago. But you can make words that give you messages that make you feel good. You cut them out of like a magazine, and then you put it together, and you make your own little, and you stick it to like a poster board, and they're a
yeah.
lot of fun. And you can add color and stickers, and kids love them.
That is a
Yeah.
great idea.
And then they feel like they gave themselves the idea rather than you finding
Yeah.
a poster for them. You can help them pick one out, and it's easy to put. Just look up a couple of them and have them in your head and go. And it could say this one, it could say, and let them pick it out.
That is a great
Yeah,
idea.
it'll be fun too. I'm telling you, glue
Yeah.
stick, scissors, rainy day, and it's going to be raining next week. So
Yeah. Next week is going to be a long one.
yeah.
I've got a karate test on Monday.
Ooh.
Tuesday, I have I have John's Center for Autism intake appointment
Oh wow.
finally after 3 years.
Wow. Whoa.
But then I have to immediately get at it after I get out of that. I have to go to the drugstore to get across town to get John's
Oh
medication.
yeah, stupid writing.
And then like there's like so many freaking meetings and it is ungodly. It is insane. Next week
Sounds like you need a nap.
And another you.
I need several other me's.
Clone.
But
That
I
worked out
learned
well
a
for
new
Michael
word.
Keaton.
I learned a new word
Do tell.
in all of this. Datification.
You're datifying things?
No, it's like dedication.
Dedication. Oh,
Yes.
very sweet. I like that. It's very sweet. We should add it to June's local night. Well, it'll be dedicated.
Yes.
We'll honor every dedication. That's very funny.
All right, man.
All right.
It was awesome.
Talk to
Thank
you guys next week, guys.
All right.
See you, man.
Hopefully I'll have
Bye.
my office back in order.
I hope so. Good luck with that. Good luck with your test on Monday.